The underground channel ran on ahead in front of me. And as I pressed on, heading deeper, for some reason, thoughts of you, Mother, filled my head. I don't remember your face now, Mother, even though I must have seen it so often when I was small.
Can you hear me? Max! How's it going? Made any progress?
Yeah, looks like I made it to the next floor.
The further in you go, the stronger the monsters are. Watch out!
I will.
To defeat the stronger monsters, you'll need to strengthen your weapons. If you don't take care of your weapons, you'll run into trouble on the next floor. If you want to know more about combat, give me a buzz. I'll help you out whenever you want. Select Help from the main menu and choose what you want to know about from the list. You're a great fighter, so you'll pick up on it in no time.
Yeah, I'll do my best.
Okay, be careful.
You're about to embark on a wonderful adventure. Let me give you a few tips before you start. First off, let's talk about moving around. To walk, push the left analog stick a little. Push it all the way to run. The right analog stick controls the camera. You can turn the camera with the L1 and R1 buttons too, except in dungeons. When you're on the move, pressing the circle button or the L2 button brings the camera around behind your character. This is handy when you want to look in the direction your character is facing. When you approach an object and press the X button, the character takes a particular action according to the situation. For example, if the object is a door, it will open. If it's a person, you can chat. If you press the triangle button while operating your character, a screen of commands will appear. This screen is called the main menu. On the main menu, you can use all kinds of commands to help you along in the game. For example, you can use items or equip weapons. Remember, on the main menu, you normally use the X button to enter and the circle button to cancel. In some situations, you must press the square button to bring up an item selection window. Choose the item that fits your needs in that particular situation. If you pick the right item, you get to continue with your adventure. If you don't have the item you need in inventory, press the circle button to cancel. Then you've got to go out and look for that item you need. Now I'm going to explain about using normal items. On the main menu, select Items. This brings you to the item window. Move the cursor to the item you want to use with the directional buttons or with the left analog stick. Then press the X button. A list of commands you can use on that item will appear. Just pick the command you want to perform, and that's how you use items. In the item window, using the square button to select an item lets you pick up that item. Once you've got a hold of it, you can move it somewhere else. Pressing the square button again drops the item into the place the cursor is pointing. Move things around any way you want to make them easier to use. You can move items with the triangle button too, but with the triangle button, you can control the amount of that item that you move. Finally, pressing the select button automatically organizes your items. Pressing the select button again sorts your items into different orders.
Hey, I'm Donnie, and I'm gonna explain the basic controls in the dungeons. The X button is for using the weapon in your right hand. If you press the X button while holding down the L1 button, you'll attack with the projectile weapon in your left hand. If you hold down the X button for a long time, when you release it, you'll do a charge attack. Use it at critical moments. Pressing the R1 button will defend you against the enemy's attack. And if you press the X button while holding down the R1 button, you can pick up a monster close to you and then throw him by pressing the X button again. Cool! In the same way, you can pick up and throw things like the big rocks that are in the dungeons. Try chucking them at the monsters. To advance to the next floor in the dungeons, you need the gate key item. One of the monsters will have the gate key hidden on him, so if you defeat him, you'll get the key. But, of course, you won't know if he has the key or not till you're defeated. And the gate key for each dungeon is a different item. Try not to get them mixed up. When exploring the dungeons, you can switch to the map view by pressing the select button. Pressing the button will switch between off, small display, and large display, so pick which one you want. You can also find floor maps and magic crystals down in the dungeons. With a floor map, you can see the whole layout of the floor you're on. A magic crystal will show you the positions of the monsters and treasure. The map view will be useful for finding both of them. The floor map and the magic crystal won't work anymore when you go to another floor, so you'll have to look for new ones. If you get near a monster and press the circle button when the marker is displayed, you'll go into lock-on mode, which means that wherever you move, you'll always turn to be facing your enemy head-on. Remember this, it'll make it a lot easier to fight. If you want to change the target you've locked on, tap the circle button. Each time you tap it, you'll lock on to a different monster nearby. When you're locked on, moving the left analog stick away from your target and pressing the X button will make you evade to avoid the monster's attack. This is another cool move, so don't forget it. And finally, here's how to get out of the lock-on mode. Move the left analog stick away from your target and press the circle button. That'll do it. When the fight's looking bad, all you can do is run. But when the enemy's too close, you can't run very fast, so you should try to get away as soon as you can. And when the enemy's nearby, you can't open treasure chests. So either drag the chest away from your enemy, or defeat your enemy first and then open it. In the dungeons, you can use items, even during a battle. But to do that, you need to set the item you want to use as an active item first. The item that you select will be displayed in the active item frame at the top left of the screen, even when you're moving around. Select the active item you want to use by pressing left and right on the directional button and press the square button to use it. Items which you can throw will be thrown as soon as you hit the square button. If you throw them once you're locked onto the enemy, you'll be fairly sure of a hit. There are loads of treasure chests scattered around the dungeons, so you're sure to come across a few. But be careful, cause some of them are booby-trapped. If you guess the kind of trap and disarm it, you'll be able to open the chest without anything happening. But if you fail to spot a trap, it'll get ya. There are also some treasure chests that are locked. If you have the treasure chest key, that won't be a problem. But if you don't have the key and you force a chest open, you run the risk of setting off a booby trap. Do you know what the red bit is above the monster's HP bar? It's called the rage counter, and each time you attack a monster, it decreases by 1. If you don't defeat the monster before it runs out, the monster will go into rage mode. If that happens, the monster will get a lot stronger, so you'd better not attack it half-heartedly with a weak weapon. In a fight, you could be attacked by things like poison, which will put you in abnormal status. When you go into abnormal status, using normal recovery items like bread won't work. The only thing that will work for poison is the antidote drink. When you're in a particular abnormal status, you'll need the right item to let you recover. When fighting a monster that uses abnormal status attacks, you'd better get yourself the status recovery item before you go in guns a-blazing.
I know enough about weapons not to have to ask anyone about them, but it can't hurt to review. Changing equipment takes place within the item menu, which is reached by choosing item from the command menu. Grab the item you want to equip with the square button. Place it above a character and press the square button again to complete the equipment change. If you press the X button on top of a weapon, you can select the equip command, which will then equip that weapon. You can change equipment for 5 separate locations: right-hand weapon, left-hand weapon, shoes, body, and head. If you defeat an enemy with a weapon, then their magic power will tumble out of them in the form of tiny blue grains. If you pick these up, then the weapon which delivered the final blow will absorb the magic from them. The parameter which shows how much a weapon has absorbed is the Magic Absorb Status, or ABS. The blue bar at the side of the weapon's icon represents its current ABS. If the ABS bar fills up, then the weapon goes up a level and its stats improve. This is called weapon growth. Weapons also have a stat called WHP, which displays the weapon's durability. This is the orange bar at the side of a weapon's icon. If this falls to 0, then the weapon breaks, and its attacks will no longer affect enemies. You can return a broken weapon to normal by repairing it using repair powder. However, if a weapon gets broken, then its ABS will decrease slightly. So, if possible, it's better to fix a weapon before it breaks completely. What's more, some weapons need items other than repair powder to fix them. For instance, guns need gun repair powder and armbands need armband repair powder. So to fix the gun I got from Donnie, I don't need repair powder, but gun repair powder. An effective way to make a weapon stronger is to combine an item with it. If you move the cursor to a weapon on the item menu and press the X button, the weapon menu opens. Select status and information on the weapon is displayed. The synthesis points at the bottom of the status window display what kind of items this weapon can be combined with. As a weapon gains levels, its number of synthesis points increases. If you place the cursor over the item you want to combine next and press the X button, the commands for that item appear. Items which display the command Spectrumize can be combined with a weapon. Selecting Spectrumize breaks down the item and creates a synth sphere that contains the properties of that item. By taking the synth sphere, placing it over the weapon with which you wish to combine, and pressing the X button, you can add the powers within it to those of the weapon. When you find a new, stronger weapon, you can use Spectrumize on your old weapon and then add its abilities to the new one. This is the key to making even stronger weapons faster. However, when turned into a synth sphere, a weapon's stats decrease somewhat. So, without a weapon with high stats to combine it with, the weapon could start out weaker than before. What's more, if you Spectrumize with a weapon that is less than +5, it will become an unstable synth sphere and will hardly alter any stats when combined. Better be careful of that. Weapons have various attributes. You can check them by pressing the X button over a weapon and then selecting Status. The weapon's stats are shown as 10 attributes. Once each attribute goes over a set level, it is possible to evolve the weapon to a stronger one. Each weapon has a maximum limit to each attribute, so making stronger weapons is tough if you don't use Build Up to advance to a new weapon. Also, in addition to the 10 attributes, weapons can sometimes have other special abilities. The finer points of this are still a little unclear, so let's go over it more closely. As you raise each weapon and certain conditions are met, it can advance to the next weapon rank. This is called Weapon Build-Up. If you build a weapon up, not only does its appearance change, but the limit on its parameters also increases, making it possible to aim for even higher stats. If you select the Build Up command and then click on the question marks under Next Weapon, you can find out exactly which stats need to be improved in order to build up your weapon. Use this information to help you plan how best to raise up each weapon.
Hey, Borneo here. I'll be explaining how to move around. To go to a different area, select Move from the main menu. You can ride on the train to the area you choose. All you have to do is choose a place on the area map and leave the driving of the train to Cedric and me. If you use the Move command in the dungeons, you can check the dungeon info. If you then press the square button, you can get out of the dungeons whenever you like. But if you escape before completing a floor, you'll lose half your money. But it's up to you. If you want to get out of the dungeons, the best way to do it is wait until you've completed a floor, and then choose Leave Dungeons from the menu that appears. This way you won't be wasting your money. The conquest of a dungeon is not a thing to be rushed.
The road to adventure is long and perilous. When you want to take a break in your adventuring, be sure to record the progress you've made so far. Here and there along your travels, you'll find a mysterious glowing book. Approaching this book and pressing the X button will bring you to a screen where you can record your adventure's progress. The next time you play, you can pick up your adventure where you left off. Always remember to record your progress. Don't let any of your hard adventuring go to waste.
What's all this? Donnie, I've come into a big chamber. There are what look like tanks everywhere.
Ah, that'll be the pump room. The pumps in there are used to draw water from the lake on the outside. You're not far from the outside now.
Gotcha. Thanks, Donnie. I gotta keep going. What the? Flotsam!
And how are we today, Max? I'm quite proud of you for coming all this way through the sewers, you know. By the way, Max, I took the liberty of doing a little research on you. For someone like you, living in a big house with no wants or needs, don't you think it would be a waste if you threw your life away fighting us? And how sad indeed would your dear sweet mother be?
What? What do you know about my mother?
What if I did know something? If you want to know more, give me that red stone. I've got plenty to tell you. Well,
No, no way. I'll find my mother myself. I don't need help from anyone like you.
Ah, you stinking brat! You'll regret this, I guarantee! Take care of them, my darling Linda.
It's no good. I'll never win like this.
Now then, Max, what will it be?
Ah! Uh-oh.
What?
Max, you all right? It's me.
Cedric, you finally completed the ride pod.
Yep, I named it Steve. I'm still working out the bugs, but it's got plenty of punch. Well, did you learn your lesson or what?
That's amazing, Cedric.
My sweet Linda couldn't compete with this one!
Oh, we got an ornery son of a gun here. Come back for more, huh? Take that! Huh? What the?
Well, what's wrong?
Actually, I didn't finish that energy backpack yet. I don't think she can handle any more fighting for now. Hop in, Max.
Get on, but it can't move.
Don't you worry about that. There's enough juice to get us back. Come on, get in.
Running away, eh? Linda, get them!
Adios!
Oh my, they've run off! But poor sports!
Morning, Sonny. Sleep well?
Yeah. Tell me, Cedric, why do you think those circus goons are after this pendant of mine?
Who knows, kid? But if what you overheard in that room at the circus is true, then Mayor Need definitely knows something. I'll talk to Need and see if I can get anything out of him. Just don't let that pendant fall into their hands, no matter what.
I know. I won't give this up.
Alrighty then. This thing here is the problem. We gotta finish this up and take care of that pesky elephant.
All you need is an energy pack, right?
Yep.
Well, Cedric, how about letting me handle that?
You telling me that you want to make the energy pack for Steve?
Yeah, I want to give it a try.
Alrighty then. The job's yours.
All right.
You know, inventing stuff is pretty tough work. I'll show you how, Sonny, so you listen carefully.
Okay.
Inventing something involves taking several ideas and combining them together to create something new. And ideas are, well, the building blocks for inventions. By combining the ideas inside your head, you can invent brand new stuff. Now here's some hints on making an energy pack for Steve. A milk can, pipes, and a belt. Now this is where things get tricky, see? Next, you gotta do some collecting. Here, use this camera. You can use it to capture stuff. First, press the square button to ready the camera. Then you can capture whatever you see in the viewfinder. Use the left analog stick to control the direction. And to take a picture, just press the square button again. Pretty simple, huh? Now you better go take some pictures. You need to look for a milk can, pipes, and a belt. You should be able to find them all within a couple 100 feet of here. You ready, Max? You're on your own now. Go get them. Inventing starts with collecting ideas, and all you need to do to collect ideas is to take pictures with a camera. If you press the square button with your camera set to the active item, the screen will switch over to the viewfinder. Move the viewfinder with the left analog stick and press the square button again to take the picture. On the viewfinder screen, you can view all the pictures you've taken so far with the triangle button. To find out if the pictures can be used for an invention, just look for little light bulb marks next to the picture's name. That's how you know what you can use. Now here's something to keep in mind about the camera. In non-dungeon areas, the camera can be set anywhere you like. But when you're in the dungeons, if the camera isn't set to an active item and the marker isn't on the camera, you won't be able to use it. Don't forget, all right? When you get everything together, then comes the actual inventing. You can do this from the Make command on the main menu. The invention cards will be lined up on the left. Now, in order to invent something, select New Invention at the very top, and then choose the 3 items you want to use. If the items are matched up correctly, your invention is a success. The item you invent will be registered as a card. Just remember, just cause you get this far, it doesn't mean you're finished. No sirree. All you'll have at this stage are plans for actually making the invention. So next, I'll tell you how to actually make your new gadget. Select the invention card for your new item from the Make menu. Decide how many you want to make by pressing left or right on the directional button, and finish up by selecting yes with the directional button. If you don't have enough supplies to create your item, you can pick them up at a shop or some other place. So you think you got that down? Well, go on and make new items to your heart's content.